I just worry immediately for your safety in that moment.
Why?
Because of the fact that he's a racist. Andrew Wilson's a racist. I was frankly not gonna go and sit in a room with a bunch of men who don't believe in consent.
She's literally saying that she's afraid that she's going to go down to Santa Barbara, California to do a debate and is going to be ravaged by the hordes of men who can't control themselves because they don't believe in modern forms of consent.
Yeah. Oh, this one is a doozy, but it's been brewing for a little while, so it's properly cooked, so we must go in. All right, we're going to head over to Andrew Wilson's channel. Now, we've covered Andrew Wilson in the past, specifically his time over at the Whatever podcast, and he just be frame broiling and serving and cooking, chopping these chicks to shreds. It's an amazing thing to watch. Nevertheless, he's been accused of something heinous, but the lady that is accusing him is crazy as hell. But the story is just too good to simply to ignore. So understand as we go through this is one of the most dangerous types of women known to mankind, not because they can be physically dangerous, but they can be systematically dangerous. What is it that I mean by that? These Jezebels will rewrite definitions. They will twist language in order to weaponize the language against you. And they will simply reconstruct reality, specifically to paint you as the villain, to paint you as the bad man, all right? Even though the facts do not support that damn narrative, all right? And this is where our story begins. So yeah, let's head over to that channel. Now, the young lady, she graduated from Cambridge University and I guess utilizes that as like a position of intellectual authority, right, in order to be able to debate with people. And she's actually debated Charlie Kirk within the past. But yeah, we're going to break this one down, so strap in and let's get active. Without further ado.
So I was watching YouTube the other day.
I saw you did you do sit with Andrew Wilson? That's one thing I would disagree with you doing, which is interesting. Like maybe that's where the debate
to Andrew
will
Wilson?
happen.
What did I do now?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I just worry immediately for your safety in that moment.
Why?
Because of the fact that he's a racist. Andrew Wilson's a racist.
Ooh.
What?
I mean, he's admitted on live streams before on his podcast.
He's admitted on live streams, did she say? She gonna have to bring on them timestamps because she don't know the type of lawsuit that she's walking her dumbass self into. Now, for some additional context, the young lady on the right has been on the Whatever podcast and has debated Andrew Wilson before. And the Cambridge scholar / psychopath on the left knows that they debated and is now trying to paint Andrew Wilson as a graper. That
he doesn't really believe in what he understands the modern version of consent to look like. And
yeah, because it makes no sense and is really fucking stupid. Can we get to the part where I'm actually this thing you just called me, though?
His entire career is built upon a foundational premise that you get clicks by bullying underage girls or...
What? What underage girls? What the f are you talking about?
Who are underqualified to speak about political problems. And I'm not saying that that's you.
Underqualified to speak about political problems. I have a almost 10th grade education. Almost. Let's see how that stacks up against these who are underqualified to speak about these problems.
Not so erudite. She has an undergraduate in psychology and a graduate diploma in psychometrics.
That's the one on the right.
Is Naima. She's a senior at USC.
These are the women he's debating.
She received a master's degree in fantasy literature from the University of Glasgow and a BA in English from California State University, Sacramento.
Yeah, dog, fantasy literature and a BA in English. Hopefully these ladies watch my Winter is Coming 2.0 video in order to understand how AI is going to sweep them off of their damn feet. By the way, the Whatever podcast only brings on adults, okay? Man or woman, and they run screenings to ensure that. So I don't know what they're getting this underage woman thing from, but if the argument is that they're not qualified, this was a perfect response to demonstrate the women that he's wiped the floor with how qualified that they actually were. These women will rewrite history to paint you as the villain, acting as if they were underage or they didn't know what was coming. Meanwhile, you have adult rights, adult freedom, and adult respect, yet want to turn around and claim that they're not accountable for an adult conversation. It's funny how that happens.
She received bachelor degrees in psychology and creative writing from Ivy League school, Brown University. She plans to pursue a graduate degree in public policy. She graduated from University of Florida with a triple major, getting her BS in psychology and BA in philosophy and economics.
I look like a feminist world boss right there.
She will be receiving her bachelor's in psychology.
May.
Which university, or if you don't want to? No worries. She will be receiving her bachelor's in psychology in May.
I'm a political science major. I graduated with a psychology major recently.
This is such a good video.
I graduated from FIU, Florida
Milk of
International
magnesia.
University, with a double bachelor's in international relations and political science.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm Deborah Leah. I'm from New York City. I'm 24 years old, and I have a bachelor's degree in government and politics.
Okay.
Any education?
Yes, I am college educated. I have my bachelor's.
Oh, she's going to say, I have my big back.
Hi, I'm Millie Weaver. I'm a conservative journalist, big on YouTube, Millennial Millie on YouTube. And I'm also a co-founder of a tech company called QUX.
My IQ technically is at 140, so it's 143.
By the way, the song only lasted so long. The list is quite exhaustive of who are far more educated than me, who I debate.
Yeah.
Amen.
And effectively, what she's doing is disrespecting any woman that has ever gone up on there trying to act like they are incapable. By the way, she's refused debates with Andrew Wilson. So instead of confronting him face to face, she now paints herself and anybody else who's gone up against him as a victim.
Who are far more educated than me, who I debate. And men. So what the f are you talking about, moron?
I actually don't think that that is you at all. And I think that he went out on a limb when he debated you, because that's not usually the type of person that he would engage with.
Tilly lying again. No, Tilly. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it's actually the opposite. Many, many shows have reached out to Kyla to do debates with me in the past, and she has turned them down over and over again, a thing which she will not even deny, because I have all of the proof. You're wrong. You're wrong. And you're dumb.
But like, I think that that's for the men. I think Andrew Wilson is for the men.
No, I may not be the smartest man in the room, but I'm pretty confident that she just got done saying that you're dumb. I think that that's her actual position here.
To tackle, because his audience are so. I mean, I've probably watched 20 hours or more.
No, you haven't, you lying sack of dog. Don't lie. I know you're about to lie. You always do. People always do that. You're about to tell a big fib
Of his podcast, and I've been approached before to come on whatever, and I just said no, because.
And this is how you know old Tilly is telling a Tilly lie. How could you watch 20 hours of the podcast and still declare that it's my podcast? It belongs to Brian Atlas, and I guest on it sometimes and do debates on it sometimes. Gutless, lying, filthy, degenerate, aggressive scumbag.
He's popping off.
I don't think there's any winning, and that's yeah. So I would want you to speak to your experience of that, because I was frankly not gonna go and sit in a room with a bunch of men who don't believe in consent. I was.
Wow.
Or what? What do you think is going to happen?
Right.
First of all,
Yeah.
when you say modern consent. We're talking about how progressives view consent.
Yeah.
And they're lunatics.
Yeah.
Literally like you. They're lunatics like you are. But secondly, what do you think's going to happen?
Right.
Do you think they're going to like throw you up on the table and have their way with you
Right.
in the middle of Santa Barbara, California, while the cameras are rolling live? Is that what you think, Tilly?
Yeah.
Spooked.
Yeah. It feels, correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh.
It feels like a commentary on platforming in general. And I have very mixed thoughts about platforming, and maybe you disagree. Maybe it is not a platforming. And so correct me. Am I misunderstanding you and saying it's somewhat feels
maybe a little?
No, Kyla, you adult. You're not talking about platforming.
Right.
She's literally saying that she's afraid that she's going to go down to Santa Barbara,
Yeah.
California to do a debate and is going to be ravaged by the hordes of men who can't control themselves because they don't believe in modern forms of consent.
Yeah, listen. I love that he's having too much fun with this shit, right? Like, like this is the appropriate way to handle the bullshit. Treat it with bullshit back. Provide subtle receipts, but treat it with bullshit back. Imagine being a young college-age man nowadays, and you're up on a campus and you're trying to date and you trying to express yourself, and you come across a omega feminist like that one on the left who operates only from an air of delusion, right? Like these are the ones that will falsely accuse you because they regret it later. These are the ones that will convince their girlfriends that they were raped because of some new ideology, all right? Like some new progressive definition of what consent is. They're too stupid to know exactly how stupid that they are, but that doesn't matter. Because they can still, the stupidity can be weaponized against you and it have some real impact on your life. This is the man versus bear chick, right? Thinking that every man, or more often than not, men are inherently predatory in nature and would just victimize her just by simply coming up to her and asking a question. Their default assumption is that men are dangerous and you are in more danger because men exist on this planet, and you simply cannot have honest conversations with them.
Okay.
Maybe a little, because I'm not big on the argument of you platforming, you're legitimizing these ideas. I think that that's actually a really complex and nuanced topic that people slap a big thought-terminating cliche on. You're legitimizing, you're doing this. I was genuinely just worried that, a woman was engaging in the debate. I think that in this instance, when it comes to men like this, it should be a man who engages in that particular debate. And also, I was literally worried for your physical safety.
Whoa.
I'm worried for the physical safety of the women who go in person to these podcast environments. I've heard.
Whoa.
Well, Tilly,
that's how it starts.
I wouldn't worry about it. Kyla was so unconcerned about her safety that she brought a case of beer for me into the studio before the debate started and said, I brought this for you because I heard you really like beer. Which is true. A very thoughtful gift of Kyla, in fact. Anyway, I assume that she didn't think that, the person you're calling the R word here, would you bring a person you thought was the R word a case of beer?
Yeah.
I mean, drunk and the R word together? How could I ever possibly control myself, Tilly? Of course, the entire premise is built on the fact that I think if my wife wakes me up with that's not SA. That's not the R word. I know, I get it. I understand. Something's wrong in my head. I honestly don't believe that when my wife wakes me up, I'm dead asleep. I'm completely unconscious to the world. If she wakes me up with I don't think it's the R. I'm sorry, I don't. I know. My ideas are out there, man.
Listen,
horror stories.
If it was, I would not want to live in that world, baby. What also interests me is that the woman on the right has not stopped the woman from speaking when it's so blatantly obvious how uncomfortable she is being made by this level of crazy. Now, I appreciate that she didn't, because now we got the content, baby. But I often think that the psychotic air of delusion is achieved because there is no checking. But at the utmost least, I think that she should try to reason with her. But,
and forcing you to film for 8-9 hours and then promising you reimbursement, but then they're dragging out the debate until they get until they're satisfied,
it's against
and
their
only
will?
then will they reimburse you, and people are
Who is they?
Whoa.
I don't negotiate any of these things because it's not my show. And I don't give a what the get paid or don't get paid there. It's none of my business. What the are you talking about, Tilly? What does this have to do with me? And what does it have to do with the horrific R word? What? Nothing.
I've been stranded out in the desert trying to get back home because of I've heard horror stories from so many. Obviously, I'm not going to put them on blast here, but
yeah, I mean, why do that when then the people could see that there may be another side to whatever those stories are, and perhaps those who are done so dirty may not be being particularly honest about the circumstances in which they found themselves in. Maybe that's the case. But I mean, why tell anybody that? Why actually allow a person to defend themselves from allegations when you can just be sneaky and go behind everybody's back and pretend it's true, even though you present no evidence that it is at all?
Who've spoken to me personally about their experiences, and none of them have been good. So I disagreed with you going because I was just thinking, oh, what is she doing? Nothing to do with platforming, you know?
Whoa.
So, okay, I've had some bad experiences on whatever, according to Tilly. Let's just grant that it's true. What the does that have to do with the R word? What? What does that have to do with anything? Nothing. Has nothing to do with anything. It's just well poisoning.
Yeah.
Very typical female behavior, by the way.
Yeah, well, see, it goes beyond well poisoning, right? Like any young lady that has been through that ghastly act, right? The R word. You should be taking a look at the way that she is bastardizing that act or that phrase or that word. And it should make you sick to your damn stomach. Any person that has been in communication or relation, someone in your family that was taken advantage of, and you see how now these modern weirdos will take it and completely bastardize it, it should make you sick.
Yeah. So I suppose in my experience, I have a pretty decent working relationship with Brian Atlas, the host. He repaid me, so we negotiated ahead of time that he was going to pay for travel and stay, and he reimbursed me within 24 hours. So I had no reimbursement issues. Afterwards, he offered to take me out for food. He got food on set, but I've definitely never felt for even a second physically under threat from either of these individuals, in no way, shape, or form. In fact,
for those of you who are expecting a lot more pushback from Kyla, don't be silly. So almost any time Kyla is met with a moral decision and there's something material to be gained, she almost always will universally make the wrong decision. This is why many people on Twitch used to point at her and call her, and still do, they call her Kyla Maxwell because of her relationship with Destiny and trying to, at least the allegation is, hush up Pixie in the background as she was making the various accusations that Destiny was, without consent, sharing her videos, her sex videos with Destiny. So this is all alleged. I'm not saying that this is true. I'm just pointing out that this allegation is there, and it seems to have at least some evidence which backs it up. So never seen Kyla make a good moral decision, not even one time. Never seen it. Whenever she has the opportunity to do the right thing, she almost always universally does exactly the opposite of what the right thing is. So you should not have high expectations for Kyla. I don't. Now let's check in on what some...
I am not familiar with them as people, so apparently he has a lot more information than me. I am, though, slightly familiar with that crazy-ass Destiny situation. I haven't gone over it at all, really, just because I just don't have time to. And although he's criticizing her based off of what she said, I'm happy that at least she was able to speak up towards her experience, because it does push back on the narrative to a degree that this evil young woman is trying to push. Now, Brian Atlas of the Whatever Podcast actually responded to this video clip, and he says, I'll be pursuing a lawsuit against Tilly for numerous libelous comments. Further, I strongly encourage Andrew Wilson to pursue his own, particularly strong legal claims against this liar. Her false and fabricated claims that Andrew Wilson is a R are defamation per se. Legal harm to reputation is presumed without needing proof of actual damages. Okay, I'll make this a little bit smaller so you guys can read some of it as well. Okay. It's despicable that leftists must resort to such egregious slander without a second thought to so casually, falsely accuse someone of that is terrifying. And I agree with that. She was too much of a coward to debate Andrew Wilson, so instead resorts to pathetic attacks and false accusations. This woman has zero credibility. I would strongly encourage any man, professional or otherwise, to stay far away from this woman, given her propensity for baseless false accusation. She was also a nightmare dealing with when we attempted to book her for a debate with Andrew. Awful attitude, total diva. I cannot wait to follow up on what the fruits of that lawsuit produces. Also, I wanted to take a look at the young lady's Instagram just to see if we can learn a little bit more off of what we have already learned thus far. And, prototypical bullshit, right? Like the exact same type of a woman that posts photos that sexualize herself, but then will get mad at a man for writing a sexual comment in her comment section. Like, give me a break. You putting it out there, baby girl. Men are just responding accordingly. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave a link to Andrew Wilson's video down up in the description box down below. I was like maybe halfway done with the video. Apparently there's a whole other section within it. So feel free to be able to go up there and check out the rest of it. But I'm happy that he addressed this in the way that he did and demonstrates exactly why situations like this need to be addressed immediately, directly, and fully. All right. Because the moment that you allow language or intention to be twisted without critique, then you are no longer having a disagreement. You're beginning to watch an environment switch or shift. You're beginning to watch reality itself getting rewritten in real time. And if you allow these losers, these clowns, these Muppets to continue to do that without feedback, then it can ruin your life. Because accusations like this absolutely carry weight, and serious versions of this can carry some serious consequences. And the fact of the matter is that falsely alleging these things typically was not punished. So hopefully, and at least for content's sake, because they'll probably make more money off of the content that they can produce in litigating her than the cost of a lawyer, right? But I do think that these accusations that can get thrown around so loosely, that are baseless, without evidence, without any context or receipts, or without any accountability, it does so much more to damage not only the potential brands of the men that she's trying to damage, but then also real women who are going through real damaging situations like what she is accusing Andrew of. It erodes their credibility for every real victim, okay, who went through something legitimate. That's why both men and women should be standing up to fight against evilness like this. And when I say evilness, I truly mean evilness. Make sure you guys are out there saving text messages, saving calls, save your receipts, document, and move safely with utmost awareness, because you can get hemmed up by a loser like this. All right, guys, leave me your questions, comments, concerns down up in the comment box down below. Guys, let me know what you think about the content here today. You agree? Do you disagree with the things and the points and the positions that I'm making right in here? Let me know in that comment section. But I enjoyed you guys for our discussion here today. Hopefully you did the same. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Stay safe out there. And until next time, peace.
So without further ado, MTR, cut through the BS like we in charge. No cap with the rappers like steel bars. I'm packing and rapping like here we are. Here we are. Mediocre tutorial reviews. Like, comment, share my views. Come up and I paid my dues. Big step in my black way shoes. MTR, he break it down, yeah, it's MTR. Check out the sound with his MTR. No one put it down like it's MTR.